Good Follow Show presented by DraftKings. I'm Ros wnba, and that is five-time WNBA All-Star and the birthday girl, Angel McCoughtry, is back again. What's up, Angel? How was your birthday celebrations?
Man, so much fun. Had dinner at Tao. Shout out to Crown Wealth Advisors. You showed up. I mean,
I pulled up.
Yep.
I had to pull up on you for the celebration, celebrate your birthday. You looked so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. We have fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We had a time. We're about to have a time on this show. We've got a full menu for you today. I can't believe we are already at the end of the regular season, because today's show, what we are talking about, we are discussing all of the end of season awards and the candidates as well, and all the cases people have. So damn, time flies, but here we are in award season.
Yep. And you guys can follow, subscribe, share your comments. We love hearing your comments. Check us out Tuesdays and Thursdays, guys.
Absolutely. Okay, Angel, I know it was your birthday yesterday, but I'm sure your phone was bloop, 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 beep, 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 because with all sorts of notifications, you had a clip from our show that went viral. So is there anything, you want to say to the audience about it?
Guys, what are we mad about right now? Why is everybody mad about this? If somebody offered you 10 grand today, you're going to take it. So stop this hypocritical behavior, number one. Number two, has athletes never gifted their teammates before? I seen Shaq gifted D-Wade when he was in Miami a car. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback, they gift their O-line to show appreciation, to protect the quarterback. What are we saying here, guys? It's okay. I didn't say she had to do it. It was a suggestion. It's another way to invest in women's sports. Why not? And I said, if the brand wanted to give her an extra $100K, and then she could gift her teammates if she wanted to ask for it. Guys, what are we mad about? I want us to really think about this right here. We're mad at giving. Let's move on, Ross. I don't know. What do you have to say about that, though?
No. I mean, I feel like if the audience, didn't necessarily agree with your strategy or suggestion, that's cool. But I think overall, what's important for me is we spoke about the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese for 18 minutes. And if you actually watch the entire conversation, which I'm not sure that everyone did, and I think that would be fair to do for us, I stand 10 toes down that we had a conversation that was objective. It was nuanced discourse on the situation. We reported on the Chicago Sky and their staff's role in creating this situation. And as far as Angel, I think the tone of the conversation was very nurturing and thoughtful and supportive of Angel, but also constructive. And so what I do want to say is a message, to everyone who pulls up to a Good Follow show. I know Angel is relatively new here, but, we kind of started this thing up or relaunched it in January. So actually the show is pretty new, but Good Follow is not a fan account. We don't cater to any fan base, school, team, player. And I hope you really love that, because when you come here, you can count on this show being a show that is no agenda free. You can come here and count on energy, preparation, creativity, objectivity. If a player plays good, I'm going to say it. If a player plays bad, I'm going to say it respectfully and fair. And if there is a situation in the WNBA or in the larger women's sports ecosystem that requires, a nuanced discussion about it, we're going to do our best to tackle it on and discuss it in a professional and a respectful way. So I hope you come here and love that about this show, for real. And we appreciate the feedback and the comments and the engagements. Keep it constructive, because we do try to check it out and be better for the next time. And we're going to keep, working hard to bring you a great show every Tuesday and Thursday. So subscribe, comment, all the things, all the things. But for real, we truly appreciate y'all. And certainly we hope you receive us in the right way to understand where it's coming from. So
beautifully said. Drop the mic, Ross. All right, let's get going.
All right, let's get to it. We got end of season awards. Okay. So the MVP race, we're going to start right at the top with it. It literally went from we have a favorite to an all-out horse race where it's coming down to the finish line. So at the All-Star break, Napheesa Collier was the clear MVP favorite with minus 700 in the odds, and then followed by Alyssa Thomas for plus 700, and then Brianna Stewart at plus 2,000. Mm-hmm. Asia Wilson wasn't even in the top three, y'all. God. So Angel, let me just set this up. This is something that I think is very interesting, okay? Mm-hmm. August 2nd, 2025 was a fateful day. Do you know why?
Why?
Okay, that was the day the Lynx beat the Aces by 53 points. And
Oh my
nothing
God.
was the same. Nothing was the same from that moment on. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay. Napheesa Collier had been dominant for the first part of the season, MVP frontrunner, and the Lynx were, comfortably top of the league. On August 2nd, she was playing in the game against the Lynx. They're up big. Some people are like, why was she in the game so late still with them up so big? That was controversial. Late in the third quarter, she hurts her ankle. So it might have cost her the MVP.
Right.
Think about it. It opened a door. Fee went on to miss 7 straight games from that game. She missed 10 total. And during that time, A'ja Wilson, Alyssa Thomas are breaking records after records each game. Let me show you the other side of that. August 2nd, 2025. The Aces get beat by 53 by the Lynx. So this is the same game. This same game sealed so much fate.
Yeah.
The Aces were 14-14, sitting 500, and a lot of people were kind of saying, you know what? They're out of it this season. Mm-hmm. Instead, that was their rock bottom moment. And from that day, they have never lost again. They've now won 15. They won 15 straight from that August 2nd, 2025, including for win number 13 straight, a head-to-head matchup with the Lynx, who, remember, on August 2nd, 2025, beat them by 53. Guess what? The Aces won for win number 13 straight. In fact, A'ja Wilson had 31 points in it on 80% shooting. I mean, they climbed as high as number 2 in the standings. They now sit at number 3, and look at how the world comes at you fast. Asia's actually up in the odds for MVP right now. And so it's just crazy, how that day was so pivotal to this conversation of MVP. And so look, Fee was dominant up top, but Asia's been on a heater for, the second half plus of the season. Alyssa Thomas continues to rewrite the assists and triple double record books. So just for you, as a player and also now as an analyst, what's important for you as you evaluate an MVP?
To me, what an MVP is, number one, a leader, a person who makes their teammates better, who gets their teammates involved. They know how to bite and win. That's what A'ja did. I mean, after that 53-point loss, you heard the quote she said. She said, this is not Aces basketball. This is not who we are. And they listened, they bought in. Now, I'm not going to count out Fee. They both have similar stats, which makes it very hard. It could be a coin cost, but this win streak right here is kind of, that's what's giving it away, guys. So,
I just was thinking about the fact that that day was so pivotal in the conversation because it really changed the trajectory of what Fee was doing and opened the door for everyone else. You look at A'ja right now, she could be trying to get her 4th MVP. That's never been done before. So she could, and mind you, if she wins this MVP, Asia's actually, talk about a body of dominance. She could have had 5 MVPs, as far as the conversation she's been a part of and at the top 4, but she's won 3. She's had 13 30-point games. So on top of that, just the amount of dominance at the highest level, nobody's touching that. That statement game against the Lynx was pretty dominant, 31 on 80% shooting. This is a body of work. This isn't just something that just happened. This is all season. She's leading the league now in points, in blocks, 2nd in rebounds. Now, if you go to the other side for Fee, in her credit, Fee is 0.4 behind in points per game than A'ja. We're talking about, so she's number 2 in scoring, but it's this small.
It's right there.
Fee is also 3rd in the league in steals, obviously plays both sides of the court. In leading the best team in the league and the top team in the league, she's also managed to have personal bests this season, career highs in points, blocks, field goal percentage. And it's her impact on both ends. I think, Fee's defensive presence on the number 1 defense in the league is really important. And one thing I'll say about Fee's case, I don't like penalizing her because her team won without her. They went 7-3 without her. That just means that they're well coached. Yes. Coach Reeves, Coach of the Year case, and also that they're talented,
I just think this win streak for me, Ros, it's something about that. And do you know how hard it is to score 30 points? People take it for granted because you're so good and you make it look easy. But that is one of the hardest things, to have consecutive 30-point games. Like, that's hard to do.
At the center of what this turnaround for the Aces, who for a second there, Becky Hammon was questioning we're not just talking basketball. She was questioning their heart.
Yeah.
She was questioning their head. This was happening publicly in the media.
Yeah.
And, and you just kind of felt like, you know what, there's been too much erosion of the Aces over the year. They've lost coaching staff members. They've lost key players over the years. The new players were trying to figure out, what the fit is. And they had, they struggled defensively. Like in this win streak, they've been better defensively. They've been better rebounding. The team has also risen to the occasion, but this is very much centered around the dominance of A'ja Wilson and her defiance and fire. I do want to make sure we mention Alyssa Thomas, who I think is the next closest person in the MVP discussion. She has again rewrote the triple double record book. I mean, she's breaking her own records, including recently the fastest triple double ever. So she has 8. Yes, the fastest one ever done in a game. She just barely got it, but she got it. 8 triple doubles this season, which is the most in a season. Child, she is number 1 in assists as a forward, and it's not even close. It's 9.3, and the next highest is Courtney Williams at 6.2, and all of the other top assist makers are around 6. She's at 9. And if you have just followed the season for the Phoenix Mercury, just all the injuries they had and all the kind of less experienced players that they've been leaning on, she has carried them through that. So, and also she's number 4 in steals. So, Alyssa Thomas has been incredible as well.
Yeah, she has to kind of inch and get one of these years, because she does deserve it. And every team she goes to, she just takes them to another level. I mean, who's a forward is number 1 passer? It's so special, so unique. That's why we call her the point forward. But her time is coming. It has to. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. This might be her best season yet. And she's a vet. And she spent, the first 11 seasons of her career with Connecticut. And obviously, all 3 of these players, not only are they MVP candidates, they're all Defensive Player of the Year candidates, because they're all great defenders as well.
Absolutely.
But let's move along, because we have other awards to discuss.
Yes.
Coach of the Year. Let's move along. I think, look, you got to look at your Natalie Nakase of the Valkyries. You got to look at Cheryl Reeve of the Lynx. I'm going to, before I dive into my favorites, I'm also going to say who else is in the Coach of the Year conversation. Carl Smelsko of the Dream, a number 2 seed, 29 wins, franchise record. And so far, I think there's a game left, I'm not sure. And then so far there's a 13 game improvement from last season, which is bonkers. What the heck?
Huge.
They are, they are the number 2 rated offense and defense in the league.
Have you seen how they shoot?
That is a strong case.
It's strong.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ryan out there, and Alicia having great seasons.
They're having great seasons. Just the way they move the ball, the way they hit threes. Honestly, obviously, being an Atlanta Dream player, all my years, I don't think I've ever seen it that strong. And it's a beautiful thing to see, just being an alumni. I'm excited, and I'm hoping, because the city of Atlanta has been waiting for so long. They need one, and they deserve it. So I'm hoping, man. But my Coach of the Year pick, Ros.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like for a new franchise to come in. When I came to Atlanta, they had only won 4 games. It's very hard to organize a franchise, get all the staff, where you're going to practice, all those things. It's not an easy thing to do. To make the playoffs in your first year as a franchise, and no one has done that in the WNBA. I'm going to go with Natalie Nakase.
Yep. Absolutely.
Just the way she has the team playing, their confidence. They're young. Once again, they have young mixed with some vets. Tiffany Hayes, one of my long-term teammates. I'm going to go with Natalie only just because it's a new franchise, and that's so hard to do. So hard to do.
Yeah, I totally feel you would be one of many who believe Natalie Nakase, should get this Coach of the Year award for a franchise that has honestly had a triumphant first season in existence for the Valkyries. For me, with Natalie Nakase, she's what's impressive is she's created an identity in one season of the existence of this franchise, the team's identity. They're tough, physical, rebound, they defend, they play with pace, they shoot threes, and they do it by committee. And by committee, I mean it. Like literally, I don't know a team that has had more players in and out of their lineups and rosters between hardship players, injured players, during Eurobasket, international plays. I see a new alert from the Valkyries. I can't even keep up with their roster. So imagine being a coach. Imagine being a coach through all that, you know?
Yeah.
And she has squeezed the most out of these players and empowered, you know, career role players into playing big. Like look at Kayla Thornton, career role player, won a chip with the Liberty last year. This year was an all-star. Look at Veronica Burton, who absolutely was being nurtured by Natalie Nakase. Also, shout out to Sugar Rogers, working with her on the point guard side, working with her on all aspects of this. And she's probably the front runner for most improved players. So you've got two NCs, you've got an all-star and an end season awards winner out of a roster that people didn't think was decorated to start the season, on top of also getting the most wins for an expansion franchise in a season and getting the team to the playoffs is very impressive.
Very impressive. So to me, she's my pick.
Okay. But I think we need to have more commotion for Cheryl Reeve. I don't think that Coach Cheryl Reeve is getting enough chatter, y'all. And it might be just fatigue of greatness.
So happens.
Right. So the Lynx were, for the most part of the season, much better than the rest of the league. You know, many games and wins better than the rest. And it's only recently, because she started to rest players at the end of the season, that they've kind of chalked up a couple of losses. Yeah. But she's just such an elite coach. I was talking with Kayla McBride, and she was telling me how this season, Cheryl is pushing them even harder than they've ever had before. And like really, practices are so intense, but like they love it. They enjoy being pushed by her. Again, the team has an identity. No matter who's on the court, you know, this team defends, they shoot threes, they share the ball, they take care of the ball. In fact, their MVP candidate, Napheesa Collier, missed 10 games this season. Guess what? They went 7-3 in those games. It talks about a well-coached team. It talks about a coach who has elevated the play and the potential and the ceiling for players that on past teams were kind of overlooked. And now you got players like Courtney Williams, who's having a renaissance as an all-star, a renaissance for Kayla McBride's career. Alana Smith is now a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Look at Dejanay Carrington fitting so well in her role with this team. I just think, you know, it's hard. People overlook sometimes excellence, but like there's a lot of great coaching that's making the Lynx as dominant as they are.
Absolutely. She definitely births Hall of Famers. And I think you said it great. The fatigue of greatness. We're so used to her being so dominant, especially from the past years, that it's just kind of like, oh, that's what she does. But it's still worthy of saying that she's one of the, you know, candidates.
I also want to make sure we shout out Becky Hammond of the Aces, because her squad is on a 15-game winning streak. And she made mad adjustments to lineups, to philosophies, you know, strategies, like having the team write up their own scouting reports. And she just showed flexibility as a coach. And Nate Tibbetts, you know, establishing a new culture, era, and identity in Phoenix. There's a lot of change there, and he put the puzzle pieces together. So we shall see who wins that, but we'll be back. We got more awards discussions coming up. Welcome back to Good Follow, y'all. Today's episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Ooh, Angel, let's keep going through the awards. We got Defensive Player of the Year right now. You know, first of all, I think any of our MVP candidates could win this one. They're all great defenders, and sometimes, you know, they end up giving it to one of them that didn't win the MVP. We shall see. We shall see. You know, in your fees, your Asias, and your ATs. But I think, you know, two people that are leading the way: Gabby Williams, leading the league in steals and locking it down on D, but Alana Smith for the number one defense in the league in the Minnesota Lynx. This is one of them ones where you got to watch, right? You can't always see her impact, but she's someone in there that is blocking shots, changing shots, timely play. She's number 3 in the league in blocks and defensive rating. And I'm just really proud of her. This is someone who was out of the league, wasn't in the WNBA, and like found her way back to find a role with the Lynx, and now is in awards consideration. So, I mean, how much heart does that show?
That shows a lot of heart. To me, that's not only defensive player of the year, that's also like the most improved too. She could be in that category, like just not being in the league. But I just love watching her defense, her tenacity. I always say defense is just heart and effort. It's like it's not something you can't really teach. It's just something you just want to go get. I always look at the ball as gold. Go get your gold. You know what I mean? And she has that in her eyes. She wants it. She wants that gold. So to me, she's my number 1 pick. I mean, obviously the Lynx all around are doing some amazing things, but defensive player of the year, I'm going with Smith.
Absolutely. And usually these awards go to big players. Guards have such a hard time. It sucks getting these defensive awards or wings. So shout out to Gabby Williams. We see the effort and how you've locked up this season. All right, let's move along. Rookie of the year. This one seems a little bit more kind of like a given at this point. But at one point it was kind of close between Paige and Sonia Citron, and people was debating that. And also shout out Kiki Ariafin. She had a really strong start to her rookie season.
You know, after I went to the Sparks game and they played Dallas Wings and I watched Paige, I was sold. She doesn't play like a rookie. She's so mature. She's smooth. Her moves. She does moves that like a lot of players still don't know how to do. She knows how to keep her dribble.
I love that you said that, because sometimes these awards need an eye test too. Like, we're so busy comparing stats and percentages and this and that. And it's like, yo, Paige is the only player, rookie, regular, of any age, that had a 40 piece this season. Her bag is so deep. She's so highly skilled. And the thing with Paige is, like, I'm just excited to see her putting consecutive healthy seasons together, which she never really had the chance to do in much of her career. And so, like, imagine her finally getting a break this offseason, a chance to rest, then a chance to work out an Unrivaled, and then come back. And I pray health. And, like, the future is very bright for Paige. So, shout out to Kiki and Sonia. Guess what? The Mystics have 3 first-round draft picks in next season's draft. The youth movement, the future is bright over there. So, it was really cool to see rookie talent this season.
Yes.
All right. We have to move. We are running out of time in the show. Most improved, who do you got?
Veronica Burton, 12 points per game, playing for the Valkyries. They're in the playoffs this year. And I got a chance to watch her. I'm really impressed. I was so impressed. What do you think, Ross?
Yep. I think a favorite here is Veronica Burton. She 4x'd her points per game from 3 to 12, her assists from 2 to 6, her rebounds from 1.4 to 4.4, more than doubled her minutes, 12 to 29, and still had her most efficient season of career high field goal percentage. And she was just critical to winning, And again, I think Natalie Nakase, Sugar Rogers really worked hard together. And after Kayla Thornton went down with the injury, she helped lead this team to continue to win and get their way to playoffs. So, she's really important. But you also could say Kayla Thornton had a most improved player case. She went from 5.5 points per game with the Liberty to 14 points per game in an all-star bid. And then Azurá Stevens, shout out to her, career season, career highs along the board, really flourished in LA and that new system of Lynn Roberts and the freedom there. And she could show her versatility in her three-point shooting. Yep. And Naz Hillman. All right. 6th player of the year. We only have time for names right now.
Kennedy Burke.
Oh, you went with Kennedy Burke. Yes. Why?
I watched her play the other day when I went to the Liberty game, and I'm like, I was hearing things about her, but I'm like, she's it. 6th player of the year.
Okay. And for me, I covered the Liberty, so Kennedy Burke, like her impact, her huge jump in 3-point shooting, her coming off the bench and bringing size and rebounding. She's made the most of the extra minutes she's gotten this season. But I do want to shout out Naz Hillman who is a burst of energy and leadership for the number 2 seed Atlanta Dream. Her numbers are up, her threes and assists are up, but when she speaks, people listen to her on the Atlanta Dream. I love her energy, and she's also a candidate for 6th Player of the Year.
Absolutely.
Damn, this show is too short. We gotta go, y'all. That'll do it for this episode of Good Follow, presented by DraftKings. Thanks for rocking with us, and we hope to see you next time.